Hey everyone, this is Daniel. This is my video blog for June the 20th, 2009. This has an update on a couple of things and some random things thrown in that I'm going to try to get in 10 minutes. I apologize if I'm talking a little fast. But anyway, here it goes. There's a tentative code freeze date now for SeaMonkey 2.0 Beta 1. That tentative code freeze date, according to the status meeting that I read from June 16th, is June the 30th. There's going to be another status meeting on June 30th to determine whether or not they are going to have a code freeze or if they're going to push it back again. I did not know that there was already a tentative date, which was June 16th, which obviously there was no code freeze then because they pushed it to June 30th. So now, on June 30th, they're going to decide whether or not they need to push it back again. Now, as far as Thunderbird goes, I'm still up in the air on it. The dates on there just say, still say, or at least as of 4:24 p.m. Central Daylight Time, it still says to be determined. So, I'll just have to wait and see about that. Anyway, an update on the puppies. The other day we went and got collars. When we got back home, we found out they were a little bit too small. So yesterday we went back into town, me and my mom, went back into town, exchanged them for some bigger collars, and now the puppies have new collars. How long that will last, I don't know, because Rolo's is already fraying. They like roughhousing with each other and pulling each other by the collar, or any part of their body that they can grab onto, whether it be their tail, their leg, their foot, just whatever. They like roughhousing with each other. But that's what puppies do, I mean. And also, they're 12 weeks old today, and so, yeah, today's a good day. I only wish I could get out there and use my leash and get them out and walk around. But obviously, it's 4:25 as of this entry. It is 100 degrees and the heat index is 117. So, no, I'm not going outside. But I will admit, the good thing, like I said, I believe I mentioned in an earlier entry, they have a fan, an actual ceiling fan, mounted up on the outside of the pen so they can't get their paws or their tail where they won't hurt themselves. We got it set out that way. So it cools them off a little bit. They like to sit in front of it anyway, so I know they stay pretty cool that way. And also, to the people that I mentioned that I would eventually get a video up of the with pictures of the pen and all, I will eventually get that up. It's just taking me a little more time than I expected. And also, as I mentioned, I think we're planning on adding on to the pen itself. So, let's see if I get this video up before the end of the month. What you see right now is what you see now. As if we don't do anything, what you see now is 100% done. If not, then, you know, but the idea is to make them a little indoor house thing, I guess you could say. You can get some hay put in there, that way they can lay down in there if they want to, instead of always being out in the sun and rain, and when the wind and rain, you know, and stuff, you know, when it's raining really bad and it's going sideways, hitting them and all, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. But, you'll see what I'm talking about when you see the pictures, in the video, when I eventually get that put up. But, also, I got to babysit my cousin yesterday, which I think I mentioned in the blog yesterday that I needed to get, some food for the baby, but I needed to do some things, and so I got yesterday's blog up before I had to babysit him, because I figured once I got here, there'd be no way I'd be able to even make an entry if anything even interesting happened. So, when I mean interesting, I mean with SeaMonkey, or Firefox for that matter, or Thunderbird. But anyway, one of my cousins, he's wanting me to bring he's wanting me to bring in, something that I never let off the ground, that being the web show I have mentioned a couple of times way back, that I called the Daniel Jeter program. He keeps wanting me to bring it back, and though it never existed except for a promo, which is actually still up, ironically. But he went so far as to get me to get an intro created for it, and though no webisode was made, he got me to, it wasn't forced, he basically got me to make an intro to it. But to be honest, I have no plans on getting that off the ground, because if I do, a whole lot of things will start happening, and I really don't have the mind capacity to be able to think when it comes to the hard stuff. So I'd rather have these video blogs explain what's going on and everything, instead of having a web show, as I guess it would be called, that might anger a lot of people if what I say is not what they want to hear. And believe me, my cousin, he has enough opinion in him that I could have probably gotten 5 or 6 webisodes made yesterday. By that I mean 10-minute versions. If I had an hour, I probably would have a whole hour to be able to do it. But no, I had no plans of bringing the Daniel Jeter program on. At least not at this point in time. I figure my video blogs do just as good right now than anything else. But anyway, yeah, I have a doctor's appointment on Monday, so I figure this will be the last video blog until at least Tuesday. The same goes for SeaMonkey builds. I don't plan on making any more available until at least Tuesday, because Monday's appointment is going to be an all-day thing. So, yeah. And also, I mentioned in another blog I had plans this weekend. Well, as I mentioned earlier with the temperatures, me and my cousin and her boyfriend decided to call it off and wait until next weekend. That way they would have money for a motel room for the whole weekend, and we can go fishing when it's cool and do whatever else when it gets hot and whatnot. But that's pretty much all that I have for right now. But anyway, I am Daniel Jeter, and I will see you next time.